G'day guys, just back out this morning, nice and early. Just continuing on from where I was yesterday. I had to cut it short yesterday, which was a pain. But yeah, so I came back out and I've only sort of just begun, and just from where I picked up the last bit yesterday, and I've got a signal here. There's a really old detector hole right there. That's a real old one. Yeah, all the grass is growing back in it. So yeah, I'll have a scratch out this one. Let's take the top layer off. Just get rid of the grass. Move that out of the way. Make sure the pick's out of the way. Still in there, good. Hopefully this one has a bit of depth to him. Oh, really. Yeah, come out today because the weekend's not looking real good weather-wise. Alright, so she's out. Pick out of the way. I don't know where this one's going to exactly be. Should probably pinpoint it a little bit better. Wasn't really done that well. So we're in this kind of dirty. What is that? Looks like lead, I think. A bit of old steel. Oh, trying to scratch it. Looks like it might be a whole bit of lead. Bit of an old bullet. We'll clean it up and just make sure. Alright guys, cheers. There you go guys, just a demonstration on swing speed. With the 45s and 5s, you could swing that a little bit quicker than you could with the Zs. Because this is a double D coil where you can run monos and that, but when you're using a double D on a 5, you do have to swing slow as well. But I swing really slow with me with the 7. There is a signal there. Now if I was swinging like I usually do with the 5, especially when I'm patch hunting, hear all that noise. See, even you'd miss that. The other thing is the overlap. When I'm detecting, I'm actually swinging pretty bloody slow. I'm listening for anything that's repetitive. Do my first sweep and then I halve that. My phone's interfering a bit, so yeah. So swing that a little bit faster. You would have been 3 steps already, you missed it. So swing speed is the key, low and slow. Because we've got a bit of moisture in the ground as well, I actually have the coil just scraping the top of the ground. If I have it down on the ground, the dampness of the ground's actually affecting the machine. So I just have it scraping on the ground, so just skimming it. And you'll have a lot of people saying, oh, but if you have the coil off the ground, you'll miss targets. But the problem is, if you do have it on the ground in some areas, the mineralisation and the feedback from that can mask targets. So if you're in a really hot, noisy ground, it's good to actually have the coil just off the ground, so it takes out that noise from the ground. So that's just off the ground. If I have that on the ground, yeah, it stands out that a little bit better. But listen to that, I'm getting a lot of feedback from the ground because it's actually on the ground, because of the moisture off the ground. Hear how it's not as chatty. But still picking up that target. You hear that double bleep. So yeah, so I'll have a scratch at this anyway, but that's just a tip. That's what I do anyway, especially in hot, noisy grounds or real wet, moistured grounds. Is just have the coil just off the ground. You don't have to have it miles off the ground, as long as it's just sort of skimming the top layer, even like just the rocks. That's probably just a couple of mil off the ground. Yeah, well, that's a bit more quieter if I have it on the ground. I'm getting a lot of feedback from the moisture. Yeah, that target stands out, but it sort of gets confused a little bit with that moisture in it. Yeah, hopefully that helps a few people out. You know, I have read a few posts that people are complaining about hot, noisy grounds. They can't quieten the machine down. Best thing to do is just lift your coil up off the ground. Don't skim it if it's hot, noisy grounds. Just skim it across the top of the ground, a couple of mil off the ground, and it'll stop that. And your targets will stand out, as just showing you there. So yeah. Alright, we'll dig this one up anyway, and we'll see how we go. As I say, there's a lot of dirt and rubbish between the coil and the gold. But it was a target, a bit of lead. But yeah, it just goes to show that just having it off the ground in noisy grounds, it does you know, take all that feedback from the grounds, from the machine. So just a little thing to keep in mind when you're out there. I know Tarnagulla is pretty bad for it. Some places in Denali are the same, like everywhere in the goldfields. So Yeah, all right, we'll get back into it, and hopefully we can get onto some gold very shortly. Cheers, guys. Yeah, g'day guys. Got a change of weather coming through, so it's got pretty windy. So I'll shorten these videos up a bit. I've come across a signal here. So I'll have a scratch at it. See how we go. Yeah, it's been a pretty quiet board. Actually, I dug those couple of targets and yeah, just bits of lead and that, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, just persevere and keep going. But yeah, so we'll have a scratch and we'll see how we go. Yeah, so we dug him up. You can see the red clay coming through there. Out popped that nice little reefy bit right there. Yeah, it's a nice piece. It's pretty coarse. Yeah, it wasn't actually an old detector hole. They heard it, but yeah, it was up a bit further from their dig hole, so they must have just picked it up, but yeah, didn't actually swing over the top of it. They would have just probably heard it, but then marked it as ground noise. But yeah, popped that one anyway. Very nice. First one for the day. Hopefully we get a few more. Yeah, that bloody wind's cold. Alright, we'll get back into it and hopefully we can get on to some more. Cheers, guys. Yeah, g'day guys. Just come across another signal. Yeah, so I'll have a scratch at this one and we'll see how we go. Yeah, so I retrieved him from the ground. There she is there. Pretty flat. But sort of prickly, so a bit more of a reef guard. It's not far from where I picked up that last one. So yeah, has got pretty bloody noisy at the moment. Yeah, this weather that's coming in is really, you can hear it sending the detector pretty silly. So I'll just have to do another tune and hopefully it quietens it down. But yeah, that's the second bit anyway. Alright then guys, cheers. Wandering back to the car just to have a break. Not even a couple of metres away from the ute. I had a signal here. I thought, you know, it was going to be lead, because I've never actually picked any gold actually up off the top here of this hill. But thought I'd check. Yeah, little nugget. It's not very overly deep, probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So yeah, bloody had a fair signal to it. For such a small bit of gold, yeah, cracking signal. Quite impressed. Yeah, so now I've sort of got to have a look up the top here. Yeah, hopefully some bigger bits are up the top here. Be bloody good. The old times haven't really looked up the top. They got a couple of test holes, but that's about it. But yeah, interesting. All right then guys, cheers. All right, the wind has calmed right down, so even better. Machine's running a bit quieter. There was an old, like a really old detector hole here. And I had sounds like an inverted signal. It wasn't really overly loud up the top, but it was repetitive, so yeah, so I've taken that bit of ground off the top just to see how it brightens up, so I'll open it up a little bit more fingers crossed that, yeah, it might be a target down there, a deep one, so we'll see how we go. Back shortly. I took it down to, because it's pretty darkish sort of ground, so I've taken it down to the next lot of gravel. Sounding very promising. Yeah, very soft, very soft and gravelly. Very easy digging. No clay in sight. Hopefully it's still in there. Sounds even better. I come from another angle. Very gravelly. Should be a nice piece, this one. Should be a gram upwards. Still no indication of clay, so hopefully it's still in there. The further you go, or the deeper you go, bigger the nugget, so. Yep. So I'll come on another angle. It's not far from coming out. Very soft. Just starting to see a form of play now. Oh, not really, it's sort of in patches. That was just me pick. Oh. Alright, she's out. Kick the pick out of the way. Can I see it? Thought I spotted it, but it's a good size bit by the sounds of that. No, I can spot it now. There it is right there. Oh, look at that puppy. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. That's bloody nice. Well, now we've got to check the top of this hill. Bloody good depth again. That's the full of the scoop and a bit more. Wow, awesome. Right beside me ute. That's where I dug the other bit just before when I was going to have me break. I just picked the detector up, walked up to the ute, and then walked back down and picked that one up. Hell yeah. Sweet. Thanks for coming. Alright, so I ended up with 4 bits for the day. I'll chuck these smaller ones on. Not much weight in them ones. 2.9. And the bigger one, 4 grams. So we get 3.7 thereabouts by the looks. 3.69. Once I give it a clean, it'll drop to about 3.5. Maybe 3.6. Nice. Happy days. Right guys, cheers.